Hey everyone, it's LockheartQT here and welcome to the video today. And with the final shape coming for Destiny 2, I wanted to teach you guys how you can best prepare on material grinding, red border weapons, bounty prepping, all that good stuff, and how to get a head start when it comes to the season pass, XP, glimmer, everything you need for the final shape, as well as getting everything done now before it potentially goes away. As of making this video, Bungie haven't exactly stated, other than the seasonal content, what is being sunset in the next expansion in terms of, like campaigns and things like that, so we currently don't know. We don't know if any destinations are going away, but I would suggest to sort of get everything done now. And I'm going to make this video really easy to follow, really nice, quick and simple, so there will be timestamps on screen right now for each section if you want to go to a particular section, as well as it will be in the description below. So let's get started. So Bungie, I think it was like last week, announced that all expansions for D2, so for example everything with Forsaken, Shadowkeep, the Witch Queen, I'm pretty sure Lightfall as well, is all going to be free. So basically for the next month, to the start of, to the launch of Final Shape, all those expansions will be free to play. So if you haven't checked those out, I really recommend going in, doing all of the, campaigns, raids, as well as, like getting all those exotic quests done. However, please note that once the sort of free trial period is over, when the Final Shape does launch, you won't have access to certain things. For example, Stasis and Strand. You'll lose Stasis and Strand because obviously that was Beyond Light and Lightfall. You'll lose access to both of them, so please know that in mind. But hopefully this free trial will sort of, advise players to maybe get, Destiny as a collection. I know recently the game was on sale, and it was actually really cheap to get all of the content that's ever been in Destiny 2, as well as the fact that it'll probably be on sale again soon, so there you go. Bungie also announced recently that they're giving out free red border weapons. If you don't know what red border weapons are, these are weapons where you can dismantle the deep sight resonant to actually get the craftable version of these weapons. So you can craft any red border weapons to make your own god rolls, so to speak. And they're giving out free red borders every single day from completing seasonal content. So that is the coil, basically anything to do with the last 4 seasons, so Season of the Witch, Season of the Wish, Season of the Deep, and etc. I think Season of Defiance as well. So if you complete each of the seasonal content by going to the Helm directory, you can get a free red border weapon every day, as well as the fact that once a week, if you go to each of the vendors for each of the different seasons within the Helm, you can also pick up another red border. So realistically, you should have all of the red borders for all of the seasonal content done quite quickly. I reckon if people grind this out, then it's not going to take a lot of time to finish it at all, especially on all 3 characters. Next up is pretty much the newer content, so I'd really recommend getting some of this stuff done. So in terms of Rivens Wishes, if you go to Mara Sov after completing I believe it's the Season of the Wish, like the main story quest, once you complete that, go to Mara Sov and she will give you Rivens Wishes. These were weekly quests where they give you I believe it's a Ahamkara tooth or something like that, where you can then actually give it back to Mara Sov to get an exotic maybe that you've missed, or some Ascendant shards and things like that. But I'd really recommend getting the Last Wish raid gear. These are red borders that you can get from Mara Sov. If you haven't got these already, some of these weapons are excellent for PvE, so I really recommend picking them up, as well as the new Into the Light content. So I really recommend completing the Pantheon if you haven't done that, which is a gauntlet of all the different raid bosses which changes each week. Then you have Onslaught as well as Legend mode. So Onslaught is the brand new Horde mode, PvP mode. I really recommend getting that done, as well as all of the Brave Weapon quests from Lord Shaxx. Get these done now, because these are some of the best weapons that have ever been in Destiny. For example, you can get a God Roll Midnight Coup or Forbearance, for example. These weapons are absolutely cracked in both PvP and PvE, so pick these up now. And also don't forget to level Shaxx up as soon as possible to get the Super Black shader, because this will be eventually going away and it's one of the best shaders in Destiny history, so I really recommend picking that up. Also, in the final shape, there is going to be a brand new Cryptarch UI and overall system. Essentially, what they're doing is changing the Cryptarch to be like the other vendors where you need to level them up, and each level you get maybe, I don't know, like some enhancement cores and things like that. And I really recommend stocking up when it's, you know, closer to the final shape launch day, or if you want to do it now, if you're not planning on playing the game for the rest of the month, stock up on exotic engrams now, both in your postmaster as well as your inventory, to level up the Cryptarch. You can keep these going into the final shape, and then obviously just purchase them all when it comes to the Cryptarch, and you'll level up the Cryptarch really quickly. And in fact, I'm pretty sure for each level of the new Cryptarch system, when you level him up, you are able to pick up with a exotic engram as well as an exotic cipher. You can buy any past exotic from him like you could before. So, bounty prepping. Well, if you go to www.destinyrecipes.com, which will be linked on screen now as well as in the description below, you can bounty prep. If you've never done this before in Destiny history, this has been a tradition now for so long in Destiny history, what you're going to want to do is go to that website I just mentioned, or if you already know what you're doing, great, and you want to get the bounties with the highest XP and just hold them on your character. This means that when you go into the final shape, you can just pop all of these shaders, you will get glimmer, XP, and vendor XP and everything else as soon as the final shape launches. This means that you can get the season pass leveled up, as well as some of the vendors with their, like the vendor XP for, like the Zavala, Shacks, etc. You can get those leveled up quite quickly when going into the final shape, and you can get a bit of a head start. Next up, legendary shards are being sunset when it comes to Destiny 2, meaning that legendary shards will not be in the game when it comes to final shape. So I really recommend spending all of your legendary shards now. I really also recommend farming for enhancement cores, prisms, and ascendant shards, as you're going to need them, when going into the final shape expansion. And I really recommend spending all of the legendary shards now, either that or converting legendary shards into glimmer, enhancement cores, prisms, etc. And lastly, before we go, this is really just, pretty obvious one really. I don't really have to explain this too much, but it's completing any of the campaign missions, maybe any of the campaign missions on Legend or Master if you haven't done them already, Grandmaster Nightfalls, things like that, getting up your Guardian rank to the highest it can possibly go, any quests, more so seasonal quests, because they will 100% be going, but I would just get, if you've got time, any exotic quests done, maybe exotic masterworks, any of them I would get them done now, because as I said, we currently, as of writing this video, aren't 100% sure of what is being sunset for the next expansion. We do know in particular that it is going to be the seasonal content from Lightfall, so yeah, it's a pretty obvious one. I think the more obvious one at the minute is really try and get the Pantheon done. I know it's difficult. If you've got a team, then great. I know LFG's absolute nightmare for a Pantheon at the moment. However, Pantheon will be going with the final shape for some odd reason. I don't know why they're not bringing it back for final shape, but hey ho. But yeah, I would get all of that done now. I mean, the obvious stuff here is just get all of the content you possibly can done now, or gain all the red borders and craftable versions and things like that. For example, maybe get like the Whisper Catalyst as well as Outbreak Perfected when that comes out. I would just get all of that content as soon as possible now. So everyone, thank you so much for watching the video today, and for more Destiny 2 content going into the final shape rather, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And as I stated earlier, the bounty prepping website as well as a few other resources will be in the description below if you want to check those out, if it makes it a bit easier for you, especially if you're playing on PC as well. You can sort of, tab it and have it on the screen at the same time, the side or whatever. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video. Bye. Thank you.